Hello, I'm Deacon Andy Saunders from Immaculate Conception Seminary School of Theology. And I'm delighted to be with my good friend, Deacon Ray Duplechain. We're here down in the French Quarter of New Orleans at a magnificent place called the Ursuline Convent. It's a real gem and something that everyone should be familiar with. Deacon Ray, can you tell us a little bit about the Ursuline Convent?
Just a little bit. The convent, the Ursuline nuns came early in the founding of the city of New Orleans. The city was founded in 1718. The first convent that the Ursuline sisters built was in 1734, and then this convent was built in 1750. And so this has been a continuous place of worship, of culture, of various different things throughout the years. It remains so. A beautiful place. And it is still used today for weddings and occasional masses and things like that. It's a building that survived two fires in 1788 and 1794. It's thought to be the only building in the French Quarter that actually escaped both of those fires.
The building itself is absolutely stunning and really beautiful. And the fact is that it's the oldest building in the Mississippi River Valley, which makes it even more of a historical gem. So thank you, Deacon Ray, for telling us a little bit about this convent. Deacon Ray, we've known each other for a long time. Can you tell me a little bit about when you were ordained and how God was calling you towards the diaconate?
Sure. Ordained in May of 1996. It was one of the most fulfilling moments in my life. And I often tell people to understand that for me, I don't jump into anything just for the sake of jumping in. So it takes a while to kind of work through. It's been the second best thing that's ever happened in my entire life. First thing, of course, is that my wife said she would marry me. That's been the most stabilizing reality in my life. The second most important thing that happened in my life is that I was ordained a deacon of the church, because that in a way sealed the moment in my life where I recognized that all of the commitments that I had made before that point and all of those that were to come were centered around Christ himself, the church, and the people of God. And so for me, it became the next step in the reality of what it meant to be a disciple for me, not for you or anybody else, but for me.
Well, Deacon Ray has been a great mentor for me, having been ordained in May of 2011. I do remember one very powerful moment in my ordination, which was laying on the floor in the sanctuary with the litany of saints being sung over me and my classmates. And I can remember bawling during that time. I don't know if you've had a similar type of experience during your ordination.
It wasn't exactly bawling. For me, it was just an interior reality that this is like every other commitment you've made, but this one matters, right? Just like being married matters. And so I was comfortable, actually. I was at peace, and I was looking forward to what was to come. But what I do know now that I didn't know then was I didn't realize what was to come.
So Deacon Ray, looking back on all your years being a deacon and through formation, if you were meeting with someone that was interested in the diaconate, what advice would you give them in terms of what they should be thinking?
Yeah, I think we talk about it in the language of formation. We talk about it as discernment. And I would say that if someone is actively discerning, then they should intently be focused by watching, listening, paying attention to what's happening in their lives. If they're not actively discerning, and this is something that's come to them either through others or through a sense of God's Spirit moving in them, to also be watchful, listen, and to pay attention. Sure. Because even the seemingly most insignificant things in life can have meanings that lead you to the next step, lead you to a new way, a new path, and a new understanding of your relationship with the Lord.
And I would also perhaps suggest to those that might be discerning is to discern if they have a heart of a servant. I know when my call came for the diaconate, it came from my pastor who must have saw something in me that I wasn't seeing in myself. And I think it was that service aspect of being involved with the parish, doing things just with a heart of service. And he saw that and felt that there was a call towards the diaconate. I don't know. I know that story that you have.
It's similar. Yeah, it is similar. I would say that, you know, there was a gentleman in the parish where we were living at the time. It was my wife's family's parish of origin in terms of their worship. I grew up in another parish. But when we came back after college and got back into the church, that's the church that we wound up in a neighborhood, because that's the church that we were supposed to go to. So we did. And the pastor was a gem of a man in terms of his ministry. I watched him in pastoral ways pick people up that were suffering, dying, and hurting, and actually stand them up, dust them off, and restore to them the dignity that God had given all of us. And so one day, there was a gentleman who had been cutting the grass at the church for 10 years, every Saturday for 10 years. And his wife decided that they were going to go on vacation, and he said to her, well, I can't go on vacation. I got to cut the grass at the church. Her statement was, no, we're going on vacation. And so he called me and asked me if I would cut the grass. And I thought, yeah, I'm fine. I'll cut the grass, no problem. So I found myself cutting the grass at 7:30 in the morning at the appointed time to make sure everything was done Saturday morning. And I was about 2/3 of the way through. It's the middle of the summertime. It's pretty hot. I'm sweating. And as I'm pushing the lawnmower, I'm having those kinds of conversations, me and Jesus, right? And the pastor comes out the side door of the church and he waves at me. And so I waved back, and then he starts motioning for me to come. And so I turned the lawnmower off, which I didn't want to do. It's like, I just want to finish this, right? So I go over and he said, Ray, when you get finished, I want you to come in and I need to talk to you. I said, all right. So I went back and cut the grass. I finished, I went in and I sat down. I was sweating and it's cool in his office. He said, I'd like you to consider becoming a deacon. I said, sure, Father, whatever you want. I had never seen a deacon, had no experience of diaconate. And so I found myself serving God's people by cutting grass in a very simple kind of service. And I'm telling him, yeah, I'll do anything you ask. Well, the good thing about my life is that I've always been a very inquisitive person, and I always was close to the faith. I went home, took my shower, came out, and went to my little shelf where all my Catholic references and books were, and I opened the Catholic Encyclopedia and looked up deacon, and I got a sentence in and said, oh, no, this isn't me. Structure, obedience, that kind of thing. So it scared me, but at the same time, he was persistent, and so was Christ, so was God. So here I am,
The call to the diaconate can come in many different ways. In Deacon Ray's case, it came while he was cutting
grass.